How old were you in your earliest memory? 2 or 3. I swallowed a marble. Got lots of memories from when I was 3. I can say that for sure because they're all from before my mom and dad got divorced. My mom left him right after I turned 4. I remember that house's layout, including what the inside of every room looked like. I remember 2 pets that died before I turned 4. I remember staying up all night sick on Christmas Eve one year. I remember my mom keeping the big box TV in our living room on at night because my dad often came home super late. I remember them fighting. I remember sitting on top of the vent in the living room while the heat was on and watching He-Man. I remember coming home from daycare. My mom rewinding the VHS tape in our VCR. And watching the recording of that afternoon's episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I remember some family dinners. I even remember the broken green bong my dad had on the kitchen counter. Lol. That's a tough question because some of my memories feel secondhand. As in, I remember a time when I remembered my dad teaching me to count. I am not sure how. My earliest memory is when I was 6 months old. I got very sick. My dad was holding me and rushing into the hospital. I remember the hospital lights on top were white. My dad was begging for help as he was running. The Recetian counter is on the right. The nurse was wearing blue uniform. They talked for few seconds. I don't remember what they were talking about. But probably about me. Then, after the nurse talked into a phone, a few doctors and nurses pushed a little bed out and my dad put me on it. That's it. I never asked anything about it or told anyone cause I thought it was normal. Until I was 6 I went to the same hospital to visit my cousin. I was kinda excited. So I ran in and know where I was going. Everyone asked how. I told them my memory of this. Somehow till this day I still remember it. Recently confirmed at my mother's wake. My earliest memory was when I was 1. I remembered it because there were photos being shown and one was of my mother and father out in a meadow somewhere in the woods. And I vaguely remember a log cabin we stayed in. The photo doesn't show this cabin. But my dad was able to confirm we did stay in one on the trip the photo was taken on. The memory is only strong enough to where I know it was a log cabin, but do not recall anything else. Coincidentally, that same cabin was owned by the only guy my father ever knew who could drive over his own head. Sue. 54. 3 or so. Either my mom making French toast sticks or 2 girls fighting I'm the parking lot at my baby sitters. Not sure which is first. Don't ask how. But my earliest memory is me being unborn. I have an insanely wonky memory. Maybe like one memory at 5 to 6 of leaving my grandparents and screaming crying because I didn't want to leave them. After that my life becomes blurry until about 15 to 16. 3 to 4. Smashed my face on the church stairs and got a hole in my face. It's a little scar now. 2 to 3 centimeters. But at that moment you could have almost see the inside of my mouth from the outside. Was all over my left cheek. Now it's on my chin below my lips. Since my face changed since then. And I grew a lot. It changed its position a lot to end up on my chin. So yeah, I was young and dumb. Now I'm older and dumb. Like 5 when a TV playing Tom and Jerry fell on me. About 3. Looking out the 3rd-story window of our apartment. I think I was 3. It was Christmas. My mom wore a black dress. Sat on the ground and played. She wasn't pregnant though. Everything looked so big back then. 4. 3. I got a baby born doll for my birthday. ripped its arm out and chewed on it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Weirdly soft but tastes a lil sweet. Drunk dad getting angry at mom and throwing a glass of water on her face in the middle of the night. When I was sleeping next to her. I don't know how old I was. Maybe like 2 or 3. I was 5. At my birthday party. Cat cake. 2. I have quite a few memories from that age. So I'm not sure which is the earliest. But it's likely either the time I almost drowned at a pool party or when I got in trouble for playing in wet asphalt. Like 3 or 4. 3. I remember holding my mother's hand on my way to my first official day at school. I can just remember some things on the way and the feeling of being alone without my mother. 3. I was running back and forth in my hallway telling my mom to clap. She thought I was telling her crap. 2 years old. A trauma. I legitimately remember being in a carrier that you can put in the car. I remember going to a park stuck in one. With all of my family there. I confirmed the memory with both of my parents. My memories are pretty jumbled up from when I was really young. The earliest memory, or the memory I think was the oldest, was when I was at my grandma's house and she was carrying me and placed me down in the living room on a blanket. I remember not being able to get up but just moving my arms about trying to play with my brother and cousin who were running around playing. I had to be under 2, maybe 1 at least, to the point I couldn't actively get up. I also have flashes of getting my ass wiped, but they're so fragmented that I can't tell if they're real memories or just my imagination.